Hey there, it's Tony Curl here, and thanks for tuning in to the Dumb Leaders podcast. This is the podcast of the Dumb Leaders Handbook, which is our library of lessons from lousy leaders for you to learn from. So check that out at dumbleaders.com. Our last couple of episodes have featured a bit of a dissection around cognitive biases. And we continue today with a cognitive bias called the Dunning-Krueger Effect. Now, what the Dunning-Krueger Effect is, and I've got a couple of different scenarios, a couple of different explanations, but they all mean pretty much the same thing, which I'll go through in just a sec. But what it says is that less competent people have a tendency to believe that they know more than they actually do. Well-informed people usually have very low confidence in their own views because they know enough to realize how complicated and complex the world is. People that are not well-informed are extremely confident that their views are correct because they haven't learnt enough to see the problems with those views. And this is what Socrates meant when he said the true wisdom was to know that I know nothing. And how true is that? When it comes to Wikipedia, they talk about the Dunning-Krueger effect in the field of psychology. The Dunning-Krueger effect is a cognitive bias in which people mistakenly assess their cognitive ability as greater than it is. It is related to the cognitive bias of illusory superiority and comes from the inability of people to recognize their lack of ability. Without the self-awareness of metacognition, people cannot objectively evaluate their competence or incompetence. It was, as described by social psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, the cognitive bias of illusory superiority results from an internal illusion in people of low ability and from an external misperception in people of high ability. That is, the miscalibration of the incompetent stems from an error about the self, whereas the miscalibration of the highly competent stems from an error about others. Now, one of the key things there's a lot of word salad in there, I guess, and we put that in there for a reason, just to make sure that we're talking about real terms and real aspects, and that there is some basis here around scientific research. But one of the things about the Dunning-Krueger effect is, and we see this played out time and time again on that wonderful platform of information, YouTube, where we have ill-informed people sprouting their views about just about anything and being able to garnish and gather an audience by doing so. And it's interesting. It's really interesting because you see this Dunning-Krueger effect where people who haven't done the research around just about everything is given a platform because they believe something, or they have a thought process about something, or it seems like a good idea. And time again, we can see that their thoughts, beliefs, and so-called research is based on nothing less and nothing more than just what they think. Now, one of the key things about the Dunning-Krueger effect is that we don't know what we don't know. And often when we suffer from it, the Dunning-Krueger effect, we actually don't know that we suffer from it. And in the workplace, I guess, is we see the Dunning-Krueger effect in action often, especially performance review times, when it comes to 360-degree feedback is another time that you may see it. Now, often as managers and leaders, there's a tendency to rate ourselves higher in our skill set and knowledge and ability than what our own leaders or peers do. So we rate ourselves higher than what our peers or the people that we report to do. Now, the perception of our own abilities appears out of whack. It's out of whack and not in context with what others see. And we also see the other effect where managers with expert skills actually rate themselves lower in skill set than what others do. So it's got this complementary aspects where we have low skilled and low knowledge people are low ability, believing that they're higher ability. And then we've got the high ability people, the experts in their fields, considering themselves at the lower end of the scale, or lesser than where they actually sit. Now, the danger for the leader is very clear. It's if our belief in our abilities aren't matched by truth or fact or real life, if our belief is in our abilities is not matched with what the realities of what others are seeing from ourselves, we're on a pathway to pain. There's no other way to put that. We are on a pathway to pain because no matter how highly or how highly we rate ourselves, the reality is that in terms of promotion, performance, results, that always comes back to what others are seeing. What others are seeing, and that then helps drive our careers forward. So if we've got a clear belief that our abilities are high and then that's not being replicated in what others are seeing, there's an obvious disconnect, and that's just going to cause pain because people will see us as deluded as that leader. And the reality is that we cannot delude ourselves if we want to lead. We cannot be the victims of delusion. Now, one of the things that I just want to talk about here is that one of the people that we cannot ever delude, and that's the people that report to us. So if we have a delusion around our own abilities and think that we're the greatest leader or manager since sliced bread, and the people that we're following are quite honestly looking at us and saying this guy's a dickhead, the reality is that the results you're going to get are from that of a dickhead and not from that greatest leader since sliced bread. So we need to take this into account. We cannot afford to be delusional when it comes to our own abilities. Deluding ourselves the only thing it ensures is that we're going to limit ourselves. And the one group of people that we cannot fill are those that report to us. If we have a flaw, they know it. So when we kid ourselves on our ability, we lose that impact. We lose impact on our ability to influence and lead, and we lose impact on our performance and results. A good leader has self-awareness skills and the ability to reflect on their own ability. So if we can't do that, if we can't have good self-awareness skills, we can build them, and we can build them through having really good principled self-reflection. We can build on them by getting aside someone that you can trust and someone that is going to be honest with you and get them to provide feedback around specific areas in your performance. And you need to be able to take that feedback on. Because if we can't take that feedback on, all we're going to continue to do is limit the performance of yourself and your team. Now, the challenge we have is that research shows us that only 39% of people take constructive feedback well. 39% will take constructive feedback well. And you may be one of those 39%, or you may be one of the 61% that don't. Now, this is a survey that was conducted by a leadership group called Leadership IQ. It was noted in a couple of articles in Forbes. So it's something that's readily accessible online. So it's not that I'm making this stuff up. The obvious concern is for the 61 who don't take on constructive feedback. Does that mean that they suffer from the Dunning-Krueger Effect? No, it doesn't mean that all of them. It doesn't mean that all of them suffer from the Dunning-Krueger Effect, but it means they could. Okay, so it doesn't mean that they're all suffering, but maybe they could be suffering. Maybe they have it to a degree. Maybe they just need to learn to take on some constructive feedback. Maybe they just need to create some self-reflection exercises and be able to reflect on their own performance on an ongoing basis. Now, the irony of the Dunning-Kruger effect is that Professor Dunning notes the knowledge and intelligence that are required to be good at a task are often the very same qualities needed to recognize that one is not good at the task. So take that on board. The knowledge and intelligence that are required to be good at a task are often the same qualities needed to recognize that one is not good at that task. So it remains to be seen that if one lacks such knowledge and intelligence, one remains ignorant. And one remains ignorant that one is not good at that particular task. So that's one of the tough things about the Dunning-Kruger effect. The knowledge and intelligence that are required to be good at a task are often the same qualities needed to recognize that one is not good at the task. So this is where you really do need some really good, strong people around you that can help and support you in that journey that we all need to take. Now, my question to you is if you're not to become a dumb leader, you need to be intentional in seeking feedback in your quest to become that better leader. Now, believe me, the world is not out there to get you. But so if you've got the Dunning-Kruger effect, it may seem that it is, because every time you believe that you're getting somewhere and that you're getting good at something, the world is responding with, no, you're not. Now, the world is not out to get you, but the Dunning-Kruger effect may be. And if you do have it, you're doing the job for yourself. You're out there getting yourself. So, as I said, delusional leaders limit themselves. And if you want to be a dumb leader, keep doing it. Keep asserting that you're better than what the feedback that you're getting, that you're better than the performance reviews that you're getting, that you're better than that guy that just got the promotion, you're better than that lady that just beat you for that next position. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself, and you will keep being a dumb leader and you will keep staying where you are. But if you do want to be a better leader, seek out feedback and work on it and work how best to take it on board, and let's use it. Hey, thanks for listening. Once again, my name's Tony Curl. This is the Dumb Leaders Podcast. I really do hope that it has brought value to you. If you found this podcast beneficial, please share it with someone else that may benefit. And whatever platform you've listened to it, please post a review. Post a 5-star review. It helps other people find us. It helps other people get some of the very simple messages that we send about leadership to help make you a better leader. Don't forget to check out dumbleaders.com and click on the contact link to send us your feedback, or even better, a dumb leader story. We love to share that with our audience. Again, hey, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.